never is long, and
Okay, we're gonna start the Town of Sangerville, Select Board meeting. It's Wednesday, April 7th, 2021, and it's 5 o'clock. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2, approval of the minutes, Select Board meeting 3/24/2021.
make a motion to approve.
Jody, I think I have 2 minutes,
You do.
You do.
You do.
so we might need to add.
Oh, okay. So B is,
I've got it right here.
March 10th?
Also March
Sorry.
10th, 2021.
and make a motion to approve A and B.
Second.
All in favor? All three in favor. Item 3, review treasurer's warrants, payroll 27, 28, accounts payable 29.
Make a motion. Go ahead.
Approve B is read.
Second.
We vote, all in favor. Open session, I don't think we have one today. Old business, solid waste contract, and we do have some guests here to help us with this.
Okay, last meeting you approved switching to Dexter as long as the attorney was happy with the contract. I sent the contract to the attorney, I sent it out to you guys and to Trampus to have a look at it. He didn't, when all was said and done, have a huge number of things that needed to be fixed in terms of what he wanted. Everywhere it says agreement, he wanted contract. And then,
He added one section on section 7 and
Yeah.
section 6.
he didn't like the term amended in section 3C and just had that, he struck that out and wanted a copy of the rules attached when we have the contract. We can certainly do that. He added section 6, which is just says that you're going to do what you're supposed to be doing environmentally and be in compliance with all state and federal laws. And then 7 was an indemnity clause, so that Sangerville is not held responsible if you do something wrong. And then section 8, now 10, and it's about suspension of operations. He added one phrase, if the duration of the suspension exceeds 7 days, user fees shall be abated for the duration of the suspension. I don't know if you... But those were his, he had originally didn't have the interlocal agreement and the set of rules, but once we got those to him, he approved all of those. Didn't see any problems with those. So I guess, Trampus, we need to know if these changes are doable.
We are sitting down on Tuesday to discuss this. I sent it out to the board and stuff, and they just said, can you just bring it in on Tuesday, because we have a meeting on Tuesday.
Okay.
So it gives us a chance, all of us to sit down together and discuss it and stuff too, so.
So it looks like we're
After we
pushing.
discuss it, I mean, we can jump on it.
Yeah, as long as you guys greenlight it, I mean, we've already
We've already, yeah.
greenlighted it, we're just
We already
kind of
got
delaying
pages.
our ads and,
That contract before was what I had for Guilford back in 2005, so all I did is kind of like put in Guilford on there, and that's,
Yep.
and of course Tom didn't send anything to the lawyer, because Tom was a lawyer. So that, he just signed it, there you guys go, and that's, but they had to do something quick too. Yeah, but he had to do something quick, they were in a bad spot, so, and we helped them out quite a bit, so.
My only question is did we, as a board, discuss the termination of 2026? I know the attorney
They
put that
wanted,
in.
he wanted a longer term.
Yeah, and I gave what I tried to do, and like I said to my board, I said, I gave you guys an opt-out right then, just if it didn't work, you knew right ahead, quick, that you didn't have to, but if he wants 226, I don't see that being an issue, the board will talk about that.
My concern about 26 is us going into anything longer than a 1-year contract.
We can't do that without,
Right, we'd have to take it to
budget
town.
approval.
So the attorney's asking for something that
We can't do
really,
anyway.
we wouldn't, it would be up to us to ask the legislative body for.
Yeah,
And I don't think we would bother. I mean, we just go every year.
yep.
So I don't, he wasn't a bad suggestion on his part, it's, I don't think it's a fit for us.
I don't think it really matters.
That's what I mean, and we're not gonna do it.
Yeah.
So should we
So
put
how do you
that
wanna
to
do
bed?
that?
Yeah.
So do you wanna just go year to year like that?
To me,
I
that's the
think
only,
we
really
have
only
to.
realistic way to do it.
Yeah,
And that's what we've done with Guilford and Cambridge, same thing, year to year. If you guys want out, you want out,
Sure.
you know.
I don't know why we
Well,
would want it any other way.
I'm not really looking at it that way, as far as the way we could get out, I'm looking at more as, it just makes it more clunky if we add to that term out, then this all gets we're not even scheduled for a town meeting.
Yeah.
So, if we wanna go to 26, this sits on a table until we can have a town meeting and then the townspeople.
So you guys haven't had a town meeting?
No, we're not planning on one until we really need a reason.
We passed,
You
the
could do-
statute allowed us to
Yep.
do last year's budget up until like middle part of January, and
Yeah.
we did that on purpose.
Yep.
And we're glad we did, because it's still clunky till, at least till the June.
We have one, it's tough. We Zoom, we do the Zoom, and we have enough we got some rooms so people can come in and stuff. We have maybe, of course, we got 7 council members too. So 7, 8, me and the clerk and our finance. So there's 10 there,
Wow.
and then we might have another 6 people that come in, and then most I've seen on Zooms like 22, but usually it's 1 or 2. It's not many.
For your whole town meeting?
Yeah.
But see, they have a council.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
tell-
right,
Yes,
that's
you
right,
guys, yeah, you
that's
gotta forget,
right.
these guys, they make their own decision, don't matter what.
Right, it's a lot
Oh,
easier for a
that's-
council.
Yes, it is,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
It's a lot easier for me too, I only got to convince 4 people.
yeah. Yeah.
We bumped off 100.
Yeah, that's, I know, you guys, and that's how many you guys would have usually,
Oh.
if it's a busy meeting, you
Yeah.
got a lot on the agenda.
Anything above 80 is good turnout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's well attended, I
We
would
have-
say.
Yep.
Have any of them said anything to you guys about this change? Has any of your residents say anything to you about it?
I think most people are really sympathetic to they don't wanna be in a tight space with other people. I think
Yeah.
that people, a lot of nervousness.
Oh,
No.
No,
How about coming down to the?
Oh, no, I haven't had any feedback, other than people that I've told personally, and they were supportive.
I called trash busters and talked to them and stuff, of course, they come to us anyways and stuff, so, and I wanted information from them, and I just kind of bounced off how many people are picking up and stuff like that, because I think a lot of your people probably have somebody pick it up and take it down there, you know,
Yeah.
like the Dover and stuff too.
Yeah,
I was waiting for this meeting before I reached out to trash busters, bolsters,
And I haven't sent up the bolsters yet, I wanted to give Mike a call and see how many he had too, just kind of give it.
I haven't even talked to
Yeah.
Jack because I didn't want to get in the middle of this.
That's why he did, I was wondering, I thought he was quiet to me because he knew about it. And then, of course, Joe's getting done too,
Oh, Joe's getting
Joe's getting
done.
done too, so I didn't know.
well, Dale had talked to him, he
I talked
knows, he
to
knows what we're
him
doing.
before the
Okay.
last meeting, yeah.
Okay.
So he knows this is active conversation.
Because he hasn't said, I haven't talked to Jack much. So.
So if we're going another week on this, are we still trying to switch by May 1st?
I don't see why not.
Do
I don't see an issue with it.
Do you have any qualms about me putting it in the papers now?
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because you're
yeah.
gonna have to have it in, if you wouldn't put it in the Gazette, you have to put it in by Monday.
Right.
So don't put it in yet.
Okay,
Put it in the following Monday. Then you still got 2 weeks.
Right.
okay.
I wouldn't want to start advertising publicly until you
Well-
had a chance to review this with your board.
I know.
Yeah, because if it comes back over the net and you gotta tweak something else, I'm sure we're gonna figure it out, but it's gotta be done.
I mean, really, a lot of this is just
It's straightforward. It's
amended
not-
contract, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
whatever.
only one that, Reggie Palmer, I don't know if you guys know Reggie, he's been a chairman of our board since probably '94. And he's, the only one he's concerned about that we need to talk about is 7, I think that,
Indemnity.
yeah. That was
Oh.
where was that, and he just wants to look at that and just kind of talk to the guys about it and stuff, so. But, yeah,
I noticed his name was on the, your original interlocal.
Yeah, I saw that too.
ain't that funny?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been there a while.
And Marcia wasn't, she's on it now again, so, but she's the chair of my council too.
Oh,
And I'm sure, whether we There are gonna be some mess ups, somebody's gonna show up there with something to dispose of and maybe get turned away, may happen.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
it happens to us now.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Yep.
You know, we try to be really good about it, though. If we've talked before, we try to make sure we have a place for them, you know, don't go home, I don't wanna see it. We don't do that,
Yeah.
you gotta do this or do this, and we take care of everything anyway, so.
And we have to get our stickers too.
Yeah, now I'm kinda wondering how we can do that. Usually, we'll look how many stickers that we get for Guilford, and maybe this first year I might just give you Dexter stickers, just say Dexter on it, which would be fine. Okay, and
Okay.
then how you do this is when they come in to register their car, if you take this to the transfer station, you have to get it registered at the same time. That's what you need to do. And I tell my towns to charge $5. And it gives you guys a little bit of revenue, plus, you know, pays for your person doing it and stuff like that. But I do have a town, I think one town still gives them like $1 still, so, but I recommend to just do $5. Gives a little bit of revenue back to the town, and it gives them a little bit more responsibility. Hey, I'm paying $5 for this, you know.
Yeah, they keep track of it.
And I won't ask.
Yeah,
I won't
and
ask
keep
for
track of
six
it, you gotta, keep track of the person who has that number and stuff. We just do a spreadsheet, and,
Right, but my point is that, you know, if they're free, I would take 5 for each one of my cars.
so that's another cost you guys are gonna get. So if we sell you guys 150 stickers, we're gonna sell them to you for 50 cents a piece, so it's $75 extra, and we'll bill that to you like in December when we get the new ones, so.
When I was at Litchfield, they had a similar, you had a decal. People would put that on a piece of cardboard and then switch it from vehicle to vehicle.
I tell them not to do that,
Okay.
and most people don't. You've had people do it, but I
Yeah,
mean, it's very seldom
Yeah.
that they try to do that and stuff, so. But now, you know, we get you guys on our thing, we got Guilford, that kind of covers,
Sure.
if we were getting stuff from you guys before, it's covering that, you know, it's just gonna, that's what I like about picking this up, because I got Cambridge too.
Yep.
So it's sort of,
Yeah, so
You got
get
the
this
walls.
whole
You
area.
get Ripley too, don't you?
Yep,
yep.
so I tried to get Parkman back, I don't know, 15 years ago, but that's a long ways, it's just as you get farther, so.
Would trash busters say in terms of their routes?
Oh, they're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine, but they'll end up,
Come out.
if they come on Fridays here, they'll bring it in on Saturday mornings and dump it or something like that, that's what they'll end up doing. So, or holding it in their truck until Monday, I've seen them do that too.
I had called Bolsters the last time that we considered doing this and they were.
Oh, they don't, yeah.
They were,
They'll probably take it to us anyway. We've talked about this for many years, so like, you know, and we pull trash bags out and look for envelopes.
Right.
And see where he's taking, bring the stuff from, so. He's the one I don't trust probably the most out of all of our haulers. The trash bus is pretty good, even though they switched owners, they're pretty good with us. So, but Bolsters he's a tough.
they got some big routes,
Yes,
so
they
I
do.
don't know how they
He
keep it
does a big
separate.
area, he does a huge area, so.
Okay.
Well, that's good.
You guys will
Yeah,
know,
I think we're-
I'll get to you like Wednesday.
Sorry to drag you out here for 15
I
minutes.
No, that's fine, it's only 15-minute drive, so. Thanks for that.
And if there's a tweak and we have to retweak, we'll just have a special, we'll all get together,
We'll get together
assuming we
real
can
quick.
sign it, we'll sign it, and that'll be,
I think that he'll talk about the indemnity thing, he'll probably talk about the 26, and I'll tell him, I said, they gotta do year to year, so.
Yep.
I go, I'm fine with that, I think that'll work, so. Okay,
Very good.
thank you guys very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get
Appreciate you
hold of
running
guys
up here.
Thank you for
Okay,
this.
yes.
Very, very good.
What are our tax bills on,
Excuse me?
tax bills?
Tax bills usually go out the end of June. If we don't have a meeting, I don't know. Exactly, I mean, we have
Could they
to,
go out earlier?
can they go out earlier?
Why would the meeting make a difference?
In case we changed, if we have any things in the budget that go up or down, or if you do any of
What
those
meeting?
kind of things. Town meeting.
Oh, I didn't worry about that.
And,
Well, you wouldn't, your budget passed,
Yeah, you already got a budget.
so nothing's going up or down. Now,
So
you could,
you're not
you could
gonna-
ask for more money for something,
yeah, that's kind of what you don't
But-
want
I doubt that that's
to,
gonna happen.
we can do a supplemental for that, that can be
Yeah,
handled that way.
So how quick could our tax bills go up?
Um,
And the only reason why I'm asking, I guess maybe I ought to say that before I keep digging for information here. What I'm wondering is, could we get our tax bills to go out in time, that we could put a note right in everybody's tax bill, hey, we're swapping from Dover to Dexter?
no. I'd rather have the school nailed down because that's a piece that has to go in our,
What do you mean nailed down?
as in what their budget is going to be, because that's part of that formula that we have to figure out every year so that we can set the mill rate.
that
Yeah, but
gets
that won't
plugged
get
into that?
nailed down until after we do the district
be-
vote, and regular vote anyway,
In June.
hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, this has gone
Hopefully.
3 rounds before.
Yeah, it has.
But I mean, even then, our budget, I don't know,
I will start pulling numbers together, and if it looks like we can do it, I'll let you know. But I don't think I can hit it before May 1st.
Okay.
Just don't see it.
I'll prod a little bit and see where the budget's looking.
Okay. Last time I talked to.
You mean the school budget? Oh.
Kelly, she was talking a slight rise.
They always say that.
Yeah.
Well,
I
that's,
know.
They always start
that's,
there.
It was.
it'd be silly not to say that, right?
We budgeted for a slight rise many years that never came to fruition, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you want to skip to the new business 6A
sure,
plowing quotes?
sure. We're gonna jump down to item 6, new business, plowing quotes. Okay.
I only have one.
If I can,
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be shoveling.
we had a fellow. from
And I
Maxwell's.
put in your files here what we were paying and what the totals all were.
Quite a lot of sand left, huh, Warren?
Hasn't been leaving very quick lately.
No.
That's,
Yep, there's probably not as much there as you think, but there's still a lot left.
If you-
It's the most we've ever had left.
Would you say it's a third, or 25%, or 50, or?
About a third.
Okay.
Well, I talked to Chris just a while ago. He said he thought there might be 1,000 yards
Yeah.
left.
So we was pretty close to almost 3,000 yards when we started, what, we cleaned up around the yard. We put up, what, 2250,
2150, yeah.
2150? And we was, yeah, it wasn't quite three.
So if we bought another 1,200?
Chris would rather buy 15.
Yeah,
Okay.
15 will fit on there.
12 to 15 was,
Then it won't be an issue, but we made it all fit on that slab.
Yeah,
So that's part of the reason why it looks so much. We condensed it. We made it high.
yep, you made it higher.
it was a lot less dusty than the stuff we've been using the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah, it's not dirt.
Yeah, yeah, it's not loam.
It's not field dirt.
It's a lot bigger pile too.
Yeah. No,
We did clean up a lot from around the garage. We got at least a couple hundred yards.
early on, I was getting some walkers telling me there was some rocks in it, but I think a lot of that might have come from cleanup. Stuff got pushed in.
Yeah, probably was, we got a lot of that from white cleanup.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was well worth using, but there wasn't nothing like the rocks we got for 3 years out of spec.
Oh,
I didn't get
geez.
a,
We didn't have any,
I didn't get.
we didn't have any rocks plug up the sanders this year.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
so you would
That's
know, yeah.
Didn't ever have to pick a rock out of the sander.
Did you have any sanders plug up because of,
Of the quality of the
I never
sand.
climbed in the back of my truck this winter, piled the sand down through. And I've been doing it for 3 years,
Huh.
steady. It
So
really-
you're
it
a
really
happy,
sucks when it's
you're a
raining.
happy.
So you didn't miss that a bit?
No,
No.
no, not at all. It's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, the sand's a
So,
lot
should, do we wanna discuss this, or do?
Yeah, I think that figure should be,
yeah?
Yeah, right, exactly.
yeah.
So, do I break it down? Well, first of all, the question is, I guess we need to discuss the loader without, with and without the loader.
Well, that's what, I don't know what's on there.
He's got it written down both ways.
Right, right. So, do we choose, or?
What does it say?
So, would you like me to read it?
Yes, please.
Nice.
Okay, so the quote breakdown, is that what you're, now Warren, just let me verify, there's two, why is that? Why is it twice?
One was 1
One's for 1
year.
year, one's for 3 years.
No, I know that, but are these both the same? See the numbers?
Chris did it.
Is it gonna be the same each year?
35, 50.
Because
This
these-
is 3 years.
two sides?
This is the 1 year. This is 3 year. And that's the
I
1
see,
year.
I see, all right, so what do you want me to read then?
1 year.
Both of them? 1 year?
1 year.
Yeah, the 1 year.
That's
Okay,
really
so,
all this time.
Right now, that's all we're gonna entertain.
oh, right, okay. So this is,
Work that one over at leisure.
Yep.
snow plowing bid from C&W Newt. So the quote breakdown, so price is good up to fuel cost of $4 per gallon, that's the caveat. 1 year contract using town loader, $3,550 per mile. 1 year contract without town loader, $3,750 per mile. 1 year price for after season cleanup, $2,000. 1 year price for clearing hydrants, $2,000. 1 year price for plowing town parking lots, $16,000. No total. I mean, you know what I mean. So,
The per mile price, Chris added in what we've been getting from the West Road. The high cost, and just evened it out with all the mileage.
Yeah.
And then they put a little bit of increase on it. That's
Yep. So now West Road is just another
just gonna be
mile.
a piece of road.
Yep.
So what did it figure out to last year we paid per mile?
I think it was 31, was it?
So it's 139
Is it
plus the
3-year
6,000,
contract?
right?
Is it less per mile or is it?
nope, exactly the same.
Okay.
I thought it was 31 plus the, it was 3150 plus the 1,000 for West Road.
I missed that, Friday, sorry.
I think it was 30, I want to say it was 3,150, I believe, per mile.
With loader, three,
Yes.
with,
And then we added another mile for
All right, so you had another
another 1,000.
$6,000.
Yeah.
So if you take the 139, so it was 145,836 is what we paid. How many miles do we have totally plowed?
About a 12% increase.
Is that what it is?
36.54.
Yep.
What's the increase?
About 12%.
12%.
Did you just go off that number, Mike?
Probably just,
'Cause that's what I'm saying is-
$300 would be 10% off from last year. I mean, we were 31. So if you go to 35.50, there's 10, almost 13%.
Right, because you gotta take that plus 6,000.
The 6,000 is what?
West Road.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
is,
Oh.
we actually paid 145,836 last year.
So what's the total come out to now?
I didn't do it. Sorry.
I didn't bring my phone, so I don't
I
have
was
it.
wondering how good your mind was working today.
Not that good.
So 145,836.
What's total miles?
36.54.
36.6.
Can't be right.
And that changed a little bit.
You sure?
Yeah.
No,
No, something's not coming up. 36 point what?
5.4. But
I don't have it.
it would have been slightly different because
Correct, that's where I start.
35.64 has the West Road. It
What was it
has
last year?
the change between
Here.
Peters Road and Golf Road.
That's the mileage. That's what I said too.
Do you want me to go grab the contract?
Well, you've got your parking lots in there and your,
Right, but that's all on top of.
Let me go grab the
So
contract.
this number that,
Oh, but
as
you
Jody
don't have
read
the
that,
parking lots on your last year's contract. We need bills here.
Right, we're looking at this as a total, but we're not subtracting out the parking lot.
Right.
Correct, now I got you.
That means the mile high.
Oh, yeah,
That's
parking
right.
lots are expensive.
Yeah.
Just
Like I
ask,
said, he rolled that 6,000.
the ball
from,
tax.
West
Yep,
Road. He put
yep.
that right on and just.
And up
slide
them
in
per
pieces
mile.
of
I was like totally losing it.
$100 a mile or something.
It's been a long week, but. Okay.
so the total increase isn't gonna be
No,
12% like the mileage increase,
No.
because the West Road skewed it.
and
My only, honestly, to be honest, my only concern, or I guess the only thing that I don't like, is with the increase that we're getting, I'm more concerned about the reduction in fuel costs compared to the previous, if this number is true.
no, what,
So if you look on what we have in front of us,
yes?
so if you look on number 12,
Oh, I didn't even see that, what we're looking, where are we looking at that? Right here?
Your previous.
I'm assuming this is out of the contract that we're on right now.
Oh,
So if you look at number 12, and that's why we need to make sure that this is, so the way this was worded before was for every month that the pump price of diesel average for the month exceeds 5.10 gallons, the town would reimburse the contractor excess fuels at a flat rate of $120 per month. So that's why I'm kinda, with the increase on the plow side, which I understand, not,
right,
but I think I would like to see that number,
oh, instead of 4, gotcha,
something higher than 4,
yep,
is what I would hope.
yep. Cause what is diesel right now?
We gotta be damn near there.
Really?
Well, I don't know, I mean, price of fuel's going up every day.
I
I
know,
don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is
I know it's
today.
been going up steady.
Now, I fully agree there needs to be a cap here,
sure,
but I just don't know if.
right, you'd like to see it,
Because we're already at the trigger almost.
Well, I don't know that, I can't remember. I don't know what it is.
call
Say,
Robinson's,
if
call
you
Robinson's.
Google it, you'll find it.
And just market-wise, Mike, fuel is going up.
That's by design, it's supposed to get a lot more expensive, so. I mean, they're talking about a fuel tax. If they do that, the tax alone will get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't get the fuel tax on the electric cars that they're trying to push. So somebody's gonna make up the difference on that too.
That's true, that's true.
I don't know.
So Bangor's as close as I can get. 315, 316, 325 in Bangor.
There's a little room.
So I mean, there's not a whole lot.
The highest it ever was when we were plowing was our first year, and it got up to 415.
I would be,
14 years ago.
I would be very,
It was the only year it got over 4.
It is,
I would be very willing to bet it will go over 4 this
Oh,
year.
we've got a bad feeling.
So, what's a typical one route? How many gallons of diesel is that?
I can plow, well, when I was doing this thing with my 6-wheel truck, I could plow 3 rounds on 80 gallons. So, I don't know, I never sat down and figured the miles per gallon, but my truck is twice as many miles a gallon than Chris's wheel would,
Yeah,
so.
No, and like I said, I
Suck a lot of
mean,
fuel.
I definitely think there needs to be something here.
right,
oh
right.
no, it could
Disagree
kill
with
you.
that at all.
What if it goes to 6?
Yeah, I mean,
Fuel would
there-
put us out of business.
Oh, 100%,
But we didn't wanna raise the price astronomically high, and it doesn't do that. So that'd be unnecessarily charging.
Now, in this contract, does it say what the fee would be for if it goes over $4? Is it the same fuel adjustment? Is this,
Yeah, it doesn't say what the trigger is.
No,
in the
I would
quote.
assume it'd be similar to what this verbiage is.
It was
The real thing was the difference.
Okay. So the town would reimburse contract for the extra fuel expense, oh,
Yes.
okay.
That's what we were thinking.
Oh, just the difference that, but not this 120 per month.
Yeah, I don't know what all that was. That's something that we had in the last contract.
Yeah, yes.
You wanna see it?
Something Chris came up with.
Just number 12 is what we're referencing.
He wasn't even sure if we had a fuel adjustment in there.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, I mean, I'm assuming this is your last contract.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be good if we could go to 510. Is that what you're saying, Dale?
Yeah.
That's,
I don't mind the plow increase, I understand
Sure.
it, I get it, everything's
Sure.
more money and it costs more money.
right.
Well, and
With the increase, that's what I'm kinda asking, is it possible
To stay at the
to
510.
keep the increase there, but maintain the 510 and how we
Yeah.
have it?
under that scenario, if you got to 510, what happens when you get to 610?
Well, I mean, it just says that there's gonna be a flat rate of
Flat rate.
120 per month.
Right, so there's no, in other words, there's no contingency to get above 120.
No, it says 120 per month per 10-cent increasement.
Okay.
Yeah, per 10 cents.
All right, so it is, it's graduated.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so, which actually
Yeah, so
more
that's fair.
offers you more protection.
Yeah, it does.
If it goes to $8 a gallon, you just keep,
So
the
is
price
this
just keeps
actually
going
this?
up, because it
Right.
has to
That's
go
the
up,
$90.
otherwise we can't get the road plowed, right?
Yes.
This.
Right, so
So-
this is a
That's part of
better,
it.
I think this
This is
formula is
the-
better for you, and it's, I mean,
because there is no
So that
formula
was
on
based
this
So
on-
it's
one.
$120.
each time you go up
Right,
another
see, there's
dime,
another
it
page in
keeps
between.
It's
ratcheting
another
up.
$120.
Around fire hydrants, that's
See,
what we're
just-
missing.
Per month.
This is all
Per month, per
appendices.
month, so if it goes up 10 cents, so if the fuel is $5.20 a gallon,
Payment right here.
we're gonna be
Okay,
paying
so that goes right before
$120
this
a month.
verbiage.
34.
But if it goes up to
I was
$5.30,
wrong.
we're gonna be paying you three
The
times
town of-
$360 a month.
That's okay, so that's not that bad.
Okay.
And it keeps going,
Right, right.
To infinity.
Up the spring.
God forbid it gets to $8, but you gotta be covered.
Jody, could you go back over the numbers slowly?
Sure.
And I just wanna try to follow along with what I have, and then we can knock this out to what, if any, increasements there are.
Do you want them just in front of you? Would that
Sure,
be easier?
actually, maybe.
'Cause then-
Sorry. I've had a
No, no,
rough
no,
couple
no, no, I
weeks.
don't mind reading them, but sometimes it's just easier
Yeah.
to organize yourself.
Well, I don't know how organized I am right
I
now.
think it's like $120. It's just a drop in the fuel tank.
So you're saying that's
You're
not
running 3
even
diesel trucks, that's just a,
120 per month if you get,
I mean,
Right, but that's per every 10 cents.
right, but let's say you get,
for the month, no matter how
for the
much
month.
fuel you put through.
No, it's, once you're at $5 a gallon, that's one fill-up.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Say that again?
I mean, how many gallons in the tank? I mean, that's,
80 gallons.
yeah.
80?
Right.
Yeah. On my truck. Yeah, I think Chris might have a 100-gallon tank on his.
Do you know how many storms you had this winter? We had, this is based on 18 storms. I was just curious.
Yeah, I didn't write them down.
Okay,
Didn't seem like we had 18.
No, it wasn't.
no way.
No, it was a pretty good year.
So, and then the other thing, so Brady and Warren, is this a contract that
That's a piece of it. I just gave.
I've got the rest.
I gave
Oh, okay,
Dale
that's
the
what
I'm
rest of
doing.
it.
Okay,
I
So-
so
don't
let
know,
Dale.
it
do
wasn't 3150, it was 34.
It was 34.
Oh, okay.
So it was 34
that's-
with loader, so,
Okay.
we're looking
so we're
at-
$150.
no, you gotta look at it with the loader.
Right, so
Yeah.
that was 35.50 or
It's not much of
35.75
any- It's not much of anything because the
Yeah, it's
West Road is
150.
adds.
added in, the West Road is now added in. So the West Road's a mile long, correct?
Mhm.
So before it was 35.54 miles, and now it's 36.54 miles.
Right.
I think there's another 10th that's different, and that's because of McFeeters versus Golf, where we
Oh.
wound up switching.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
Half a dozen ones that
Right,
come
right,
out.
right. When
Yeah.
you figure the length of the road, it's just in one direction, right? I mean, that's a dumb question, but.
Actually, it's our numbers.
What?
They go up our numbers.
Right, no, I know, but I didn't know, I mean, you know,
Some towns.
because you have to, some
places
have to turn around and go back, so
they
you.
go by a lane mile.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're just going
Okay,
straight
road
mile.
mile.
okay, no, I just wanted to know, cause, okay.
Yes, the only other, you added 1,000 for hydrants.
Which we never paid for hydrants
We
before?
paid 1,000 before. Last
Okay.
year we paid 1,000, this year they're asking for 2.
Now, do they want, if they're not gonna do them next year, is it in case they want us to do them exclusively, or how is
I
it?
think it's the same agreement you had.
Because we would push them out as needed, they shoveled them when there was a small storm
Right.
or something.
Chris was telling me that it
Right.
was just when they couldn't easily shovel them, that you guys helped them out and,
Right, so you're just kinda doing the same thing.
The same thing,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, we're not changing.
That's why I was, yeah, so that's $1,000 more. It went from 1 to 2.
Mhm.
It went from 1,000, last year it was $1,000.
He thought it was gonna, they wanted them done every storm. Like they weren't gonna be doing it, wanted us to do it.
No, it's just whatever you've been doing.
We can scratch that back down to 1,000.
See this is
I would do that.
which is,
That's the way Chris
oh yeah, you
was-
have it, yeah, that's,
No, it
that's
wasn't
sort
the
of
same as
grass.
You don't see the rest of all of this, Jody?
Put it at 1,000.
You'll see what I was seeing. That's the only thing that I see, honestly. Here's the, if you take this page, goes with the page that you have,
I see.
so it's right there, that's
Oh,
the
okay.
only one. So, yeah, if you wanna take that. Look
So
it
did
over for you.
Did you,
It's the only thing that I see.
did you crunch the numbers?
Yeah, I mean, this says 34 and we got 35.5, so it's
Okay.
$150 increase per
Okay.
mile.
Okay,
That's what I thought he said he did.
And it's,
and then the 1,000 for the hydrant?
but he
Extra.
said, he said they would knock that back to
Oh, okay.
1,000 if we're gonna
Okay,
go back to the other thing. So
Okay.
the other bigger difference is the fuel thing, I guess.
right.
Cause I
Right.
just think at
But-
$4, it's gonna get, it's big.
Here's the thing, so I know you have written on there $4, but would you be plugging that into this contract? As far as, with the same caveat that if it goes over $4, you're going to be charging this flat rate of $120 per month? I mean, it doesn't say what you're gonna do, right?
No, it doesn't, or it's not clear to me.
I didn't even ask.
Let me go give Chris a call.
Okay, all right.
Warren,
And
you
might
want,
this
you
for the,
take
what
the,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Take
read
this.
that? That's what he did
That's what we
last
had
year.
last time, right there.
All three of us, you can have 3 copies if you want.
It does seem to me that
I'll be right
you
back.
need
Okay.
something that will graduate, that will move. Every 10 cents is reasonable.
Yeah, no, I think so.
No, I do too.
I
Yeah.
just think we need to start at 5 and not at 4.
I don't see, 510's a decent number.
Yeah.
I would definitely accept the added cost here if we
Right.
could match that.
Right.
Yeah, just
right.
stick
I mean, you
with,
could talk me into going to an even 5, I guess.
stick with our old fuel adjustment.
Yeah, stick with the old fuel adjustment, yeah.
Yep.
Because I know he's saying 120 isn't a lot of money, but it's 120 per
Per
month,
10.
per 10 cent. I mean, so if you go up $1, it's,
It's a lot of money.
it's a lot of money
Right, right.
per month.
Yes.
And it keeps going, and I get it, we need them to plow the road, if fuel's $8,
No,
it's
and
$8.
I
We gotta
respect
pay
it,
for
and that's what I'm trying to, right up front, I mean, I'm
Right.
not discouraging for this concept of what we need to do, but
Yeah.
I just think starting at the $4 mark is a good number.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, and he doesn't say what he's gonna do after the $4. We don't have, there's nothing written in. Unless it's he's plugging it into the old, at $4.10 they're gonna do. So we'll see.
Do we wanna take a break till he comes back?
Sure.
Sure.
Make a motion, to take a break?
Take a recess,
Yeah, take a recess.
all in favor? It's,
Jody, you want a second?
Oh, yeah, I'll second.
all right, we vote.
All in favor?
It's 20 minutes of 6, and we're gonna take a recess. All right, it's 5:45, make a motion that we go back into session.
Second?
All in favor? We're back to work. Warren has joined us.
Yep, I talked with Chris, he said, this fuel adjustment, that's something that Dick Drummond came up back when we first started plowing. He didn't even know it was still rolling that into that. And he says it was a bogus thing back then, because it won't even hardly fill the truck, one time. At that price.
I don't know so what that says is it $5.10, you get nothing. At $5.11,
Right.
you get $120.
Right, which won't even begin to fill one truck one time.
I understand that.
No, but it's only one penny.
paying for the 1 penny.
And then if it
If
happens
I
again,
can-
you add another 120. If
Right.
it happens again, you add another 120.
Right.
So let's say it went up a
Yeah, I know.
$1. Now you're getting $1,120 a month. That's real money.
Yeah.
So that, and it doesn't end. It could go up to $2,000 a month if it keeps going.
Right.
But Chris has crunched the numbers too. And he said, you know, what he wants, what he wrote in there is the difference over the $4.
But he didn't write that.
No, he didn't.
Well, that's what he intended.
Right, but how do we know? We don't know what that's gonna be, by any means. We don't know how many gallons. It's very hard. That's why, this is why most of them do that.
The way that is.
Yes. Because there's no way to say, this is a worry of mine, okay? If we did it this per se, so the way this is gonna end up going is every snowstorm, you guys would have to turn in a slip.
For the gallons used.
Correct.
Right.
And you know, somebody's gonna say, well, was he driving for the town when he did that, or was he sanding so-and-so's parking lot when he did that?
Correct.
How do we know?
That's
You know how it's
where-
gonna go.
Oh, I already know how that goes.
Yeah,
That's why,
Yeah.
when you do it this way, none of that's a conversation.
we don't care how far you drove, or whether you drove at all.
It's just saying
That's
it,
true. You might not plow that.
You might
whole
not
month.
even, you might not even snow. You're still gonna get the $120 for every dime, every month.
so at 10,
Do you see what I'm saying? This price triggers the rebate, not the fuel that you use. So if the price goes up to the $6.10 scenario, that's $1,100 a month you're gonna get whether you plow snow or not, in addition to your contract.
so think about it this way, okay?
Am I
That's
saying
right,
that?
that's correct.
Yeah,
That's absolutely correct.
So if, in simple math, if we put, the way this is written at 510, okay? If it goes to 511, you get 120
Well, it
dollars.
says
No, it's
per
every
10
Per
cents, per
Okay,
10
so
cents.
10
It's
but that
it's
equals
incremental.
1,200, that's 1,200 gallons a month. Do you think you guys go through more than 1,200 gallons a month for 'em?
Oh, hell yeah.
depending on the snowstorms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, when we're getting a little snow, we're chewing it up. Fuel is a serious thing, you know.
No, I understand. So for the entire plow season, what do you expect, how many gallons do you think you go through?
Chris just texted me.
Do you always fill up at one place, or no? It depends on where you
Doesn't
are.
matter, yeah.
Either
Yeah,
get-
no, I
either
know.
get it right at Robinson's or we take it out of a bulk tank that they deliver to.
Okay,
Depending.
Yeah, no, it's
how we
just-
need it. Chris said, he says, I'd go $4.50 on fuel or $50 more per mile across the board. Or, he says, the same old clause and cheap rent on the town garage.
He was talking about the town garage, but I haven't seen anything written yet.
I'm reluctant to get involved in anything that is turning in slips and how many
Yeah.
gallons we burn. I just think it's gonna be bad for you guys and,
Do you wanna go just $50 more a mile across the board and call it a
what
day?
number is that, Dale?
That
Can
would be
you,
a $200 increase instead of a $150.
now did you talk to him about the hydrant?
Yes, he said drop that down with us.
Okay, okay. So,
So $1,200 a month, I'm just still stuck on this. I'm just really, I mean, this is based off 6 months, 1,200 gallons a month, 7,200 gallons. So, I mean, when you and Chris are figuring this out,
Yeah,
you must have a number of how many gallons a year you think you're running.
he's got it figured, I didn't.
Okay, I was just
he's
curious.
got a good year and a bad year.
Right.
Yeah,
I was just kinda, I mean, he must have, to come up with this miles
Yeah,
per mile, he must figure
Right.
it's gonna be 8, 10.
well, I think you got your answer. He's saying if you throw 50 cents a mile in there, he's willing to eat all the risk, which is a little surprising to me.
$50 a mile.
$50.
$50.
$50 a mile.
Mile.
$50 a mile
So up to,
on what he wrote.
right,
Right.
so that number,
And we'll
so
call it a day.
what does that add up to, Dale? 50 times 36.54.
Just,
1827.
Oh, yeah, I mean, just to cut it.
1827.
Yeah, that's, I think that's,
Way less clunky.
yeah,
let's do it, not even,
yeah,
Yep.
that's fine.
not even, worry about.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
how are we, so are we
Scratch
gonna,
the fuel thing,
We're gonna take food.
no fuel thing at all?
No,
scratch it.
Or did you wanna leave the fuel thing, you pay, add $50 a mile if it reaches a number?
no, I mean, that's,
Just asking.
okay.
Let's just make it easy.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, that's fine.
Maybe our advantage,
Well, that's what I'm, you know, I mean,
okay?
okay.
I'm doing the math right now, it could be
So,
our advantage.
do we wanna discuss the loader?
It's a lot bigger number than I really, well, not really, I guess it's $1,200. You're saving $1,200 a year to have a loader sit in the garage.
Right, and what's the loader worth?
Oh, Jesus, that's worth quite a bit of money.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, if you're looking to turn that into cash,
Well, this is
the
that,
sooner
it
you
is.
do that, the better.
Well, I don't know if we're really saying we're looking to turn it into cash, we're looking at, you have X amount of equity sitting in that garage,
Right.
and at the end of the day, its value is $1,200 a year.
Right,
That's what we're getting for use out of it.
Correct. And no contractor would buy that loader to make $1,200 a year with it.
absolutely not.
No.
And it's,
You wouldn't build a garage to put it in.
it's not getting the
$1,200
maintenance.
a year.
It would cost us $1,200 a year to have proper maintenance done to
That's
that
right.
thing.
Yep. Well, you already are, cause I mean,
Somebody maintained it this fall.
batteries are endless in
I
it
had
because of
Eric
not being used.
maintain it, cause it hadn't been done.
And it's probably has not been worth more money than it is worth today.
It's only going the wrong way.
Yeah,
And you fill that loader, we don't, is that correct?
No, we fill it.
The fuel,
We fill it,
you guys put the fuel in it, I
Yeah.
put fuel in it once.
okay?
This winter.
So that's with fuel.
Correct.
And I've greased the snot out of it.
so I have no idea, but what do you guys think that that's worth? I mean, ballpark.
We have an appraisal.
We do have an appraisal?
Yeah, I just do not talk about that, but.
Well, so, you
Well, I
got,
mean,
what
we've
do you
talked
think?
about
I don't have it on me.
No, it's crazy. The numbers that got out, some of the stuff, that's what I'm saying, it was.
You guys buy used equipment all the time?
It's well over $50,000.
Okay,
Still.
all right, that just, I wanted, yeah, okay.
And-
So it punched a pretty big hole in this contract.
Yeah.
Oh, in it.
Okay, all right, I think,
The worst thing.
it's a
you can do-
separate issue really, but I mean,
The worst thing you can do with a diesel piece of equipment is let it sit in the garage all the time.
Absolutely.
Only started every blue moon.
we better off to start the thing up in December and let it run until it.
You got a bulldozer sitting there that's equally the same conversation.
Yep, I think it's time.
It hasn't moved in over a year.
No.
I drove it in a year ago last fall, I got dumped in the dooryard from wherever it was. And I drove it in and you saw it, you see
It's a
it's
mess.
still
It's a
full of
mess.
mud. I drove it in before it froze into an ingot in the dooryard. And it's all around.
Jeez.
But the worst part of it is,
No, you're absolutely right, and that's the whole problem.
Come
But
on,
every-
that dozer wouldn't have moved.
Yeah.
So I
but
drove
every
it
time we
back.
go to use the dozer, because we don't use the dozer, the
It-
first thing we have to do is we have to hire.
We can't use it.
No, well, we have to hire, like, I know Williams Welding's done it a couple times, they have to come down and
Loosen up the
torch,
tracks.
loosen up the tracks, cause they're all stuck,
Yeah, nobody's using it.
nobody's using it.
Yep.
You
Okay,
just- You can't have this stuff, just,
I think that's a whole other topic, but I think we know what we need to do.
yep.
So back to this contract, are we in a position to move this ahead tonight? I think so. Do
Actually,
we wanna let
yeah.
him amend it?
Yep,
Okay,
or actually, what we ought to do is have Bridie actually just,
Try it.
yeah,
Drove it up and I'll initial it.
just get something drawn up, and we can approve it, and then we all sign it.
yep, yep.
I mean,
Doesn't have to be tonight.
no,
No, we'll get it all tidy, the way you want it, you guys reread it.
Yep.
Everybody likes it, we'll approve it next meeting,
Yep, okay.
That sound good?
Sounds fine to me.
okay? Thank you, Warren.
Thank you very much. Now, look at this.
All right, I'm gonna back up to item 5.
I gotta figure out what's mine and what's not.
Warrant article proposal for town meeting.
Are you gonna plug out of here, or are you gonna?
That must be yours too.
I'll hang up.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry. Just because, I guess.
Actually,
All right, if you look at the page that has yellow,
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Nobody lives on that.
that's where we're at. I've been talking with MMA again about the cemetery warrant articles. And the gentleman, we go around and around and around. I've decided that probably simplest and straightforward is best, which is why I've highlighted the three that I highlighted. I was trying to get it so that you guys could set the fee per lot, but we might as well just have an article that sets it every year. It'll be before cemetery season, so if you need to change it, you could do that then.
Is the 30% what we have to do?
30% is what we have to do.
Boy, I hate that number.
Well, so he and I, this Michael from MMA, he and I go around and around, and he's like, well, yeah, you can spend the interest, but that doesn't say that you can't spend the principal. But then he talks himself right back around into, yeah, you can't spend the principal because
No.
you can't.
That's why I don't want to put 30% in there, because you can't never use
you can
the,
never touch it.
No, it's
I know.
lost money.
it's useless
Yep.
money.
Yep.
There's no sense to sell
And especially when you've discovered that perpetual care is exactly what we're doing to the entire cemetery anyway.
we're already budgeting the money anyway, and we can't use
Correct.
it.
But he's saying this is statute requires it.
The statute requires 30%. I read that, and he agrees. Right now, we put it all in there, so,
We put it all
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
we always
perpetual.
have. That's what we talk, that's why this keeps coming out, because we want to change it.
There's all this money in there we can't spend.
Yeah.
there's over 85,000.
I don't, it just doesn't make any sense.
No.
And it's not earning you, right now, it's earning you $3 to $4 a month.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
not.
You're never gonna mow the lawn,
No, you're never gonna get the mowing done, but,
and that's with us been putting in 100%. We can't even mow the lawn every year.
Well, the mistake was putting in 100%.
Well, because nobody understood how this all worked.
They probably thought you could spend it. Who
Yeah.
wouldn't think?
Well, true, true.
I'm not sure that MMA's right on this. It's because it's so irrational.
well, again, he starts saying, yeah, I think you could spend some of that, and then.
I've been through that with them
And
before.
then we
on
go,
other
and then we
topics.
go around and around and around, it's like, yeah, but I think it would take a legislative act for you to spend any of that.
Our legislature.
Our legislature
Okay, well, that,
No, no,
Oh, state.
state,
Well, you know what? I think we ought to invite Paul Davis in here, and we ought to have a conversation.
Yeah, maybe we can,
Because maybe, this could be one of these, under the crap
Yeah.
rules that's been in place
It's
forever,
just sitting there.
that nobody even understands it.
and nobody even knows that that's happening.
And probably most places aren't following the rules.
well,
And we know the
I
rules.
guess if you were a big city and you're charging more per lot,
I still
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
want
then
to
you've
do
got
it.
this account that's accruing that
you're
nobody
gonna have millions
can
of dollars in
touch.
there that.
No one can touch, so what's the purpose?
But that's what I'm saying, the bigger you are, that's the
Can't even
more money you
care.
can't touch.
No, you
True.
can't.
You're still not gonna, I mean, if you
so
had,
that's more money you're
I
handing
think-
over so that you
No,
you
can't.
I
still
think-
can't do anything with it.
I think Dale, you have a good idea. Have Paul Davis change the.
I'm wondering if we wanna check with the town's attorney to see if he sees it the same way.
I can-
There's enough money here to spend a little money to find out if we can get access to it.
Yeah, and if this is all true, I would love to have Paul come in, because.
I
really,
totally agree with you.
This could
This-
fall into one of these old things that everybody thought they were doing the right thing, and this is the reality of what you did with it.
Right.
And probably a lot of towns don't know
Don't
the full
even
deal, and
address
no
it.
different than we did until just the
Right.
last couple of years.
Right.
So, you're putting all kinds of money aside, you can't touch it. There is no perpetual care, because it's
That's,
unusable.
Would you agree to let the town's attorney give us opinion on
Absolutely,
that? I mean,
absolutely.
if it costs us a few $100s to know the
It is
truth.
what it is. I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
how much, I mean, you got, what, 85,000 sitting there?
Yeah, but supposedly it's might as
That
well
we can't
be.
spend.
Yeah,
It's growing every year.
What is it if you can't use it?
exactly.
And now they're telling us it's mandatory that we continue to add to this money that we can't touch.
Yeah, okay. It's gotta be.
Yeah, that's,
Okay, so let's find out, like you said, we'll spend a little money, but maybe we'll learn that they're wrong.
So basically, as he and I talked, you guys have the power to set policy, that is your job. So setting cemetery policy is something you can do. I don't need that in a warrant article. But enforcing It's what we always thought. I think you need legislative approval to quote unquote enforce your rules. We don't need, the legislative body's approval to register the deeds, but we need the approval for the amount. Every time you.
For the registry.
Yeah, every time it's monetary, you have to have legislative body
I don't
approval.
know if I agree with that.
Well, I wanted to do something,
Because you're already doing that when you're, I mean, you can categorize this whatever you want to, it's part of your regular budget.
yeah,
I mean, it's no different than attorney fees or registering tax liens or anything else. We don't specifically say,
right.
there's no reason this
The amount.
can't be a part of that.
Well, we wanna just include it in the fee, as our policy is that every lot that is sold gets properly registered, and the expense for that is part of what you've just paid for.
Right.
Whether it's 150 or 175 or 75.
Right.
But you don't think we can do it that way?
I can't get a straight answer.
I would just
I
do-
wanted to do something to,
if-
to see if the town will allow the municipal officers to sell cemetery lots and expend such revenues in the administration of the town cemeteries in accordance with Maine state law. I thought that covered everything without detailing all the specifics.
And did you get a no on that?
I got it's legal, but I got a whole list of why he wouldn't do it that way.
I don't see anything wrong with what we were trying to do.
Well, if you're talking to the town's attorney about the perpetual funds, you might as well get a declarative answer on this too.
Yeah.
Because that's how-
And tell him what we want to do.
Yeah,
And
what
see
are-
if he can help us get there.
Right.
That's what I will do. And
We
then
want to do
if,
it simply.
Right.
yeah.
Objective.
I've done this like 5 times, and I'm like, this
Yep.
really should not be.
No, no.
Okay, after you get down to the bottom of the page, we're gonna have 2 ordinances. Fire department ordinance, which I'm going to post the new ordinance, and before next meeting, we'll have the public hearing portion
Okay.
of that for anybody who wants a public hearing on the fire department ordinance. It has to be shall an ordinance entitled, that's how an ordinance warrant article has to read. Being enacted, replacing all previous, I'm just gonna say replacing all previous versions
Yep.
of fire department ordinances, and then on the end, you have to have a copy of the ordinances posted together with this warrant and hereby incorporated into this warrant by reference.
So don't we have to have the hearing within so many days of town meeting?
Before.
I think it's so many days within.
You mean and it's a
Well, the
window?
fire department one, you do not have to have an ordinance, you do not have to have a hearing, but they recommend that you have one anyway.
Okay, I thought with any ordinance.
Could do it when we do
period.
the shoreline zoning, which is
The
coming up.
shoreline
yeah.
zoning has many.
But that's what I'm saying, I thought ordinance period, you had to have X
Here.
amount of days within. So,
I will check again, I don't think on that one. The shoreline zoning, I'm going to the planning board's meeting tomorrow because there are many, many rules and regulations on how to get a public hearing and how to get this lined up so that we can get it on the warrant. It's 125 pages long.
Oh,
You know, so obviously we're not going to attach it. So that's why it's going to say copies of the text of the ordinance or plan and map, if any, are available from the town clerk. That's all laid out by statute for us. So I'll keep working on that with the planning board. Then we're going to have some road maintenance warrant articles. So like the first one, to see if the town will approve summer maintenance for the Turner Road for 5 years and as determined by the road commissioner and approved by the board of selectmen. I think I'll strike all of that. I just copied what we had previously done, and I will specify the length from Route 23. That way it's not, I get reading all these while doing research, and it's like I can't figure out who the Turner homestead was, you know, what that line is. If we just measure it and
that's what it should be.
put it on
Yeah.
there, that's,
going.
So are we doing Turner Road currently from the last 5-year vote for summer and winter maintenance?
that was in 2000.
I knew it was winter
15.
maintenance, but I didn't think it was summer
They,
maintenance.
they they got it through on summer maintenance.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
And
Okay, but they're
they
both
only
on a
worked out-
5-year timeline.
They only worked out there at all the next first summer there. That's the only thing that's been done since, and they always used to put gravel on that road every year, and it used to be the best gravel road in town. It's not now,
yeah, because we've ignored it for,
been ignored for 4 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been renewed officially, the way
Well, that's
that
why
it
they
should
have
have
to do
been,
this.
yeah.
And
Well,
I,
no, these ones have been, these ones have been.
But I think Turner fell through the cracks on its last cycle, didn't it?
No, West Road did.
I know
Westwood did. Turner, I think we should have done last year.
I thought so
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Oh, was
and
it
we didn't
last
have,
year?
Because if it
so it
was,
fell through the cracks.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Sorry.
yeah, I think it should have been done last year. Jackman Corner is the same. Both of those, we have deeds giving us a right-of-way. I was talking to MMA, Richard Dwelling, he was very to the point. He said that's the best way to have it. And it's best to just do these articles until you don't have enough people down there to make it worth doing. And then,
Then get rid of it.
yeah. And then we're gonna have to do, I haven't got to Knowlton Mills, we have to close it again for winter. We haven't done that properly. And those are the only three that I've gotten through. I'm sure there are others.
Put West Road back on?
You mean,
Closing it for winter maintenance?
Yeah. I'm asking. I mean,
I
that's how it
don't,
used to.
you got people living in there year round and
You
we've
do
been
here too.
plowing
You
and,
do here too. There's any difference.
which road are you referring to?
Turner Road or Jackman Corner.
We're not gonna plow Jackman Corner?
If that doesn't pass it, you're not.
Well, that's, I'm saying you gotta propose it, if they say no, then,
Well, that's what I'm asking.
yeah.
West Road always used to be the same and that fell through the crack.
Yeah, well, we,
I can put it in front of MMA. I mean, I've seen both arguments. I've seen the argument.
I'm asking a question.
Yeah.
I don't have to sell this one way or the other. I'm just saying, Jackman fell through the corner last year, we're putting it back on. West Road has fallen through the cracks and we're gonna put that back on. That's the question.
I
like
think
to
do
get
it.
them- Yeah, I'd like to get them all on a list so that.
Yeah, so that it's-
Every
Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah, and then you're right up to snuff.
Actually, you can do it for every 10, up to 10.
We have a more complicated situation with West Road because we were letting people plow it.
Well, they were doing that with Turner Road.
Yeah, they were doing the
And
same
two.
thing.
And we've been told that we shouldn't let them do that.
Yeah.
So now you're getting into a real thorny issue.
It'd be the same thing here.
I understand that. We've been doing these things, but,
We do things because that's the way we've always done
right,
them.
but
and-
when you dig into them, you realize there's an enhanced liability. It might actually be less liability just to plow the thing.
That's all things to talk about when these come up. Why, another reason why you need to approve it.
Yeah, or you change the status and you just maintain them.
Correct.
But they just become part of your inventory.
One way.
Or you abandon them, one or the other.
Right.
Yes, I'm 100% with you.
Yeah, this halfway in thing I think it has pitfalls.
I don't understand why I mean, so, and honestly, what we could, because where the status of this is, really what could happen is any one of these, when this comes up for a vote for 5 years, why couldn't we amend this and make it, or we could put it in front of the town that way, that we actually make it.
I'm more inclined to figure out a way to make these roads part of our inventory, permanently.
Correct, that's what I'm saying, how do
You're
you,
right.
how do you
Winter,
go
summer.
from this status before and move it to
Alright.
part of the inventory and not continue to do this every
I
time?
think that's the safer way to go, because the second we do this, we're opening the town up to the possibility that someone's gonna try to plow it, and now we're gonna block them from plowing a road that they need to plow so they can get home. It's a mess.
We still have roads fall in that category.
Yep, we do. But if they were part of our inventory, we'd have to deal with that.
Correct.
And if we abandon them, we don't have to deal with that either.
That's right.
So,
I'm with you there, that's why, how do we get there? That's all.
It gives them permanent
I
status.
think this
wherever they
kind
But
of-
either way, I think the West Road should be a part of that
I
conversation.
agree with you,
Yeah.
I agree with
So
you.
it's just done,
Yep.
this is the way it is, either it is or it isn't.
It's
Right.
included or it isn't.
Correct.
Yep. And maybe that's overly simplistic, we may not get there, but that's where I'd like to get to. And it's about, I don't know if that legislation has gone through yet or not, but the proposals that they were the changes they were gonna make in the abandoning process, it's a lot simpler.
Oh, yeah.
So we can clean up some of these roads that we know we don't ever wanna have this discussion about again.
Sure.
But I don't think that's passed yet.
No, I don't think it has, but. Let's go look. Okay, so I will get back to,
So just so summarizing, we all would like to figure out a way to make these part of our inventory, so we're not renewing, forgetting, falling through the cracks.
Right,
Yep,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
all right,
make sure we're doing it the right way.
yeah.
Yep. Okay, we'll keep working on those.
All right, is that it for that, Brian?
Yes.
Okay. Back down to item 6B, Guilford Fire Department requests to use our town office for training.
Guilford Fire Chief Jeff Levy called me and asked if we would allow them to use the upstairs for their, breathing apparatus,
Small
training.
test.
Yep,
They're gonna do live burns?
upstairs. No.
No, I don't want.
Well,
I'm talking to a live burn.
Is it, what are they, so they're gonna do their
They have,
test?
they have a smoke machine, so they would set up an obstacle course, where it's, I'm assuming, where it's in such a big area,
Oh,
they
I
could
see.
put up obstacles or whatever, and they got one of those,
I got lots of stuff stored up there, they can just use as obstacles.
they either do a smoke room, or
I
I've
see.
actually seen it where they just, where you got your mask on, they put a cover over it so you can't
Oh,
see. So it's a blind room.
okay.
I didn't ask him, perhaps I should ask him if they're going to fill the upstairs
With
with
smoke.
smoke or not.
It's a fault smell, it doesn't hurt.
It's like a concert.
Yeah, it's nothing.
It's like water vapor.
My only concern, I guess, or question is with the liability of what we have, should we be doing anything like that upstairs? But that's a question.
What liability are you referencing?
Well, where we have the foundation issues,
Oh, I
and
see.
insurance issues and things of that nature, should we really be adding more use to the building than what we're using it for?
Do you know if his request included our fire department?
Well, that's what I said, like I said, I'm assuming our fire department would be able to sign on with this, and he said, yes, and he said that he'd been working with Chad, and they've been planning some, doing some hose work and some other trainings together, and I haven't talked to Chad yet, but I have a meeting with him on Sunday, so.
I'm just wondering if, would the Public Works building be a better location for them to do something like that? Or would that, maybe they want a second story, I don't know.
I don't know, that's my only concern, is just the, I don't know.
Dale, do they need sort of an old house?
I don't know what he's
Oh.
really doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you can
Okay,
do like
just
a-
don't know.
Like I've done it before, I've done it both scenarios, I've actually done it in a smaller building, and you actually did do, you know, up through the stairs and different rooms, and, but I've also done it, like, we used to do it at the fire station in Guilford, you pull all the trucks out.
Okay,
And it was kinda funny, you mask everybody over so they couldn't see, and it was kinda, you know, you watch everybody, but.
right,
And
right.
you set up something like an obstacle course or whatever, so they could train in, so a big room can be a benefit, so. I'm kinda guessing that's probably what he's thinking is that, but there is stairs up on the stage, and so I mean.
Yeah, no, you could be pretty creative.
Yeah, you could do a lot of things.
So do they need that type of thing, stairs and you
It's
just
helpful.
don't know?
Depends
I
on what
see.
he wants to do, you know what I
Okay.
mean?
I didn't ask any more questions, I just,
I could see you could do both, really, if you
So,
wanted to.
other than, if we don't have any liability, if the fire departments themselves may carry their own, the fact that they're municipality, I mean, Guilford coming to us, I'm not sure how that affects us versus Sangerville using
I would think
Sangerville
it would be
property.
better if he was working with Chad, and Chad wanted to use it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I think
suspicious.
it's
that-
Chad's event,
Right,
that would probably be better for us than if it was Guilford Fire's event in our building.
If that's true, and I think we should have Brady check with our insurer. And if that's true, then maybe reconfigure the request.
Right.
If it doesn't matter, personally, I think
Yeah.
it's fine.
okay.
I don't know what you guys think, but,
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
care,
yeah.
as long as there's no liability, I don't care.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yep,
That's the bottom line.
yep.
What's kinda interesting though is, there must be something on training, cause I think I brought it up like last year. I know, when we were, cause obviously we use the Mount Guilford for pumping out the basement. And there was fair amount of, not controversy, but whatever. MMA come up with that ruling that non-emergency services, their insurance wasn't gonna cover anything, if there was ever an accident or injury or whatever, but there must be a piece in there about training.
Yeah,
Sure. But I know in the past, that's how they would always deem a cellar pumping as a training exercise. And they're not doing that anymore.
They
so
can't.
They can't do it.
but this is true training,
This is true.
this is,
Yeah.
so. Okay.
Okay, item 7, town manager's report, shoreline zoning, fire department ordinance, better camp.
There's a few other things, we've really hit shoreline
Yep.
zoning, the fire department ordinance, because those things were working to get onto the annual town warrant. Vetter camp, last time I was asked to check on what HUD had plans to do with Vetter camp, and are they going to let it fall into the water, and all of those types of questions. I took on the door there was a letter saying Guardian Asset Management is in charge of this building, so I called them. And I got a receptionist, and she took down the information and said somebody would call me in 2 to 5 days. And I said, well, this building's falling into the water. I think you ought to get somebody. That was a week and a half ago.
That's the company that's mowing the lawns and plowing the driveway. And
Right.
maintaining these buildings.
I called twice since then, and I can't get anybody to pick up the phone.
Oh,
So I
interesting.
looked under the Better Business Bureau, and there are all these complaints that, once you talk to them once, you can't get through ever again. There's complaints about them going to houses that are occupied and not abandoned, getting the addresses wrong. Draining water heaters in people's homes when they shouldn't have even have been, so. I left them a message basically saying that I was calling the federal government and the DEP, and they could get back to me at their convenience. So I called HUD. I'd been working with them on another home in town, and I called the lady who was helping me with that. I haven't heard back from her yet, so I'm hoping that maybe she can tell me something about better. And if she doesn't get back to me, I am calling the DEP, I guess, to see what's.
Well, that would be another interesting conversation that I would love to have if Mr. Davis was here.
Okay.
Because I researched that deed, and HUD has clearly owned that property for 6 years.
Yes.
So the federal government is paying taxes for the last 6 years on a piece of property that they're allowing to fall down, get dilapidated, and its value is just going down.
Right.
Whereas, as all of us as taxpayers, we're all paying for that in taxes.
Right.
And it's not gonna be worth anything. If they would've sold that when they had it, when it still had value, and the town would be collecting more. It could be fixed up by now. It could
Has
be,
it gone to the point where you can't salvage it?
it's opinion.
Don't you have to have one wall to?
Nope, you have
be
to,
grandfathered?
you can't remove 50% of the value.
Can't.
So,
It's not much value to it.
well, that's my.
Last I looked at it,
Yeah.
When you don't have a lot of value to begin with, you can remove quite a bit.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
you can improve anything, you just can't demolish.
Okay.
I did a little research, HUD properties are sold through brokers that are licensed with HUD. And so they have a mechanism, but they own thousands and thousands and thousands of properties across the country.
Well, I just did a quick look to see if there was anything locally being sold by HUD. And it says there's not.
There hasn't been.
Nothing.
I'm on a list for that. And
You are on the list?
Years ago, I've done this, I've been part of this.
Yeah.
There hasn't been any that's been up for sale for quite some time.
No, they're just, and it's just across the country.
Oh, that's it. There's another house in town that, I just chased HUD around to see if they knew they actually owned it, and we were going to foreclose on it because they haven't paid the taxes on this one.
See, that would be perfect.
Right, why did you chase that?
I haven't heard anything since.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, I would just,
That's even better, because it will, if they fall through the crack and they don't pay the taxes, That just fixes the problem.
Yeah, no, then it gets sold and back on the tax rolls. I mean, it's on the tax rolls, but it'd be improved and, but the DEP, or if we can find a state agency that agrees that this thing is a threat to that pond, then we might have some leverage.
That's why, I mean, I started, that's why I went to the planning board with it and let code enforcement know. I mean,
Well, I don't think he's done any more than call that Guardian,
Company.
company.
yeah. Which I really am confused, because that Guardian company shouldn't really be the first phone call. The first phone call should be who's on your tax card.
Yeah, they're just a contractor.
Right, I mean, it's no different than if, you know, if code enforcement goes to a property that's a rental or whatever, dealing with who's renting it really doesn't do any good. You go to the owner and you work it that way, I would think it'd be more beneficial, but.
And with the better, at least I have an actual foreclosure number. So it's easier to track. Somebody should be able to tell me something
Yeah. I mean,
about it.
I went on and read the deed, I mean, it's actually gone to court twice,
Yeah.
so,
Is it on foundation or is it on?
I think it's a wood foundation.
Oh.
Okay,
So next item, school trust. Did I tell you last time that?
Where's that?
it's not on this agenda.
It's not on
Okay,
there.
okay.
I just remembered that I had to tell you this. Another one of those, we have money sitting in a pot that we can't touch. This one you might be able to, because I found in 1976 where they took this ministerial trust and changed it so that the money goes towards paying down our school obligation. If they can change that, I don't know why we couldn't just put the whole 4,000 towards paying down one year's. I mean, it's never going to grow. It's earning like 63 cents worth of interest a month right now. Since 2009, it has accrued like $176 worth of
Yeah.
interest.
So it's $4,000?
It's 4,500.
And we can put that right towards our school bill.
Yeah, just get it done over with,
Yep,
stop talking
and-
about it.
We've talked about this before.
And
Yeah.
yes, we have,
We
the
just
reason
never
why
knew-
we can't.
We never knew what the trust actually entailed. I still don't know exactly what the trust entailed. I do know that we changed its purpose back in 1976. Could be another Davis question. Everybody says, oh, almost all towns have a small ministerial trust. I'm like,
Yeah, but you know what, I went to, totally different conversation, but I went to Guilford's town meeting this year, and I was amazed at how many accounts that they keep money in. You know, it's kind of like it's the old shell game that we used to be a part of. You know, we used to have different accounts for everything, and you just
Yeah.
hoarded money in all these different buckets, and that's all they were gonna use for.
yeah.
It just makes everybody warm and fuzzy, and makes you feel better about doing that, but this is kind of the similar way, it's just one more thing that,
Clean
if
it
we
up.
put rules for it, and, yeah, but clean it up,
Yeah,
I mean,
yep.
I think that one is possible to get,
That'd be great. I would be all for that.
possible to get rid of. And I guess if we did it,
I would much rather love to figure out how to do the same thing with perpetual care and eliminate that account. Because I don't care who's sitting at this table or who's sitting in that desk, I'm very confident this town will always mow those cemeteries.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And whether or not you have perpetual care or not, account, it's not gonna change that, so.
Well, particularly since you can't spend the money to do it.
Right, but I'm just saying, if you
It's not
never
even
have
helping
it,
you
you're
do
still
it.
gonna do it.
Yes.
And $80,000 is quite a few summers of mowing. Even if we, spend it down,
Sure. Oh, that would, yeah, I mean, if we could just do it that way, I mean, never play mowing contract for the next 9 years.
Right.
Okay, are we done with the
Yes.
town manager? All right, on to item 8, road commissioner, Thomas Road, sand pile, and Route 15 grinding.
I also want to mention the East Sangerville Road. So
Okay?
the Thomas Road, we all know has become an issue. I was thinking I would approach Brian Howard and see if he could give me an expert opinion on what to do about the end of the road.
What the cause is.
what the cause is, what we can do to fix it.
I wouldn't ask what we can do to fix it, I would ask the root cause and what needs to be done to fix
Okay.
it.
I don't know,
I haven't been over to look at it, I know you drive by it every day.
I would love to be there when you have that conversation.
with
I
Brian,
just- Yep.
yeah, I can ask him if he can think. Maybe we can make time for the next meeting, to go start our meeting there. Before it gets dark and
No.
cold out, and
Yeah, I
I'll
think,
see what works for him.
well, there's still water there, right? I mean, this is, it's.
Yeah, it's drying up now.
Yeah.
You
I
haven't
didn't go
been
out
over
Chris
there.
went.
Yeah, it's drying up now.
But
I
we
mean,
probably
the
ought
water-
to, we should all go look at it.
You mean the pond next door?
Yeah.
That's filled in,
Yes.
yeah.
So there's no
Um,
standing water left or?
A little bit in the low spots, cause it's not filled in
Did he fill
properly.
that in?
What?
I should know, did he fill that in because he didn't want a pond, or because he was told he hadn't?
That's a good question, I don't know, I do not
I will
know.
pursue that.
I don't know.
Okay.
But the other thing I was thinking is that I think that is, are we year number 2 on that McFeeters Road being paved? This winter number 2? Cause you plowed it last winter without lines, cause I remember that
Yep.
issue.
Yeah.
Yep, in 2 years. Be the second summer.
Right, and so last spring, it wasn't as bad.
Yeah,
But we-
Peters Road.
Pardon me? Yeah,
Yeah,
Thomas.
yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, wasn't as bad. And we had the same,
Well, he was digging out there while we were looking
Right.
at this road. So he was just starting that project before we paved it.
right, but one of my point was last spring, it wasn't as bad, right? You might not have, I mean, I'm the only one that drives it every day.
Yes, you are.
You would be the person to ask.
Right.
Chris
But
plowed.
you guys, I mean, there's no influx of population on that road.
No.
There's no-
Yes, so there's a camp being built, and so there's contractors in and out all day long.
Oh, they
Is the
want the road
post,
out.
is the poster,
What?
poster up,
The poster's up.
and nothing huge is going through, just lots of,
Somebody gated in gravel on my road. Because they couldn't get past. So I went out the other day and there's my road, where mine starts,
yeah,
at the power line. They gated in gravel, all the way past my property onto where this camp's being built. The camp is where Tyler Potts is, it's the Potts camp, P-O-T-Z.
So maybe they flew the dump truck to your road.
I don't know, I didn't see the dump truck, but somebody gated in gravel.
My truck's in the hay band full.
But,
Steel.
so that is another variable
yeah.
that,
Yeah, if you got heavy traffic over it when it was soft, that'll puncture up.
yep, and they're getting deliveries every day. Hammond lumber stuff. Or wherever, I said
Yeah,
that, I've never seen a Hammond lumber, I said that, strike that,
See if it's got
sorry. I'm sorry.
hard pan, loam, whatever coming up through where gravel is there. I'd like to see it. 'Cause it was getting soft and I was still plowing. Last time I plowed.
I know last week the Anderson Road opened back up. I mean, it's pretty gooey right now, but it's not getting on the better end of it, but I think
It's coming out.
the frost is, last week really said, I'm done. So, because the Anderson Road actually, when we got that little bit of cold snap, it hardened back up, it was pretty good, you could drive a car down it. And you're not doing that right now.
Well,
So we
Chris
did
brought
look at
brought the excavator out the other morning on the freeze, it was just highs were on.
Yep, now it's,
You could
I've got
put that down if you wanted to.
no, it did open back up
He
again.
left the skidder and brought the excavator. He wanted to bring them both, he said, nope, I'm just gonna bring one.
I don't know that road though, I mean, even when you say contractors in and out all day, I mean, you're only talking a pickup.
Yeah,
And you're only talking 3 or 4 trips extra a day, you're not
Yeah.
talking 30 trucks a day.
no,
That's, even that, I mean, that's not a,
right.
But the characteristic of the road has changed from what you're used to over the last decade.
I would have to say yes.
Okay.
I don't know, is this winter different with that I don't know. But anyway, yes.
There's
The
no
answer,
ground on that piece of road,
Right.
it's so wide
yeah.
over to the,
And it got wider when
It's
McFeeters
wide,
got
wide,
plowed
I have to make 3 passes
to get it.
to get all the snow off instead of just in and out.
Right.
I've gotta make an extra.
And we've not put anything on that we've graded it.
It's flat and the water is not running off from it.
So is that something
It's
that,
retaining its own water.
right, but as I'm listening to you talking, we make the road wider and we haven't put any gravel on it. So when we grade that this year, should we really bring the road back in and make the road up the middle so it's not this
Well,
wide?
there's nothing, I don't think there's anything to bring in. I think it's all gone down and done this.
That
Try
road
to
needs
bring it
fabric.
back, you gotta be bringing in poop,
So
so to speak.
I think it was Chummy that did fabric in that portion right before Nickerson's. It's unbelievable. The very first portion is gooey and wet and everything else. Then there's fabric right where the pond is, that little pond. It's dry, it's perfect. And then Rick and I did fabric up the hill
Yeah.
onto our road. And that's dry and perfect. So the question is whether we can do the first portion and properly prepare it.
I
And-
really wonder if there's something there about digging that pond and putting all that in there, if that hasn't done something to that road. That's what I really question.
Well, if you dig all the clay out, the holding
That's what
water
I'm saying.
from running into your road, you're gonna have an issue. If you've changed how it drains, maybe our culvert isn't even draining
There's no culvert
anything.
going that way.
No, there's one going across
Correct.
Correct.
the road, is that,
I don't think the
Nothing's
ground
running.
is high enough where he
Well, that's what I-
dug, right.
But it used to be maybe.
It might have been,
yeah.
That's what I'm wondering, if whatever happened there
right.
has really changed what's happening to our road.
I don't know, I mean,
I don't know either.
and
haven't
I
looked at it
think,
without snow on it. I
yeah.
don't know.
But here's the question, that culvert that goes across McFeeters, that was all, done concurrently, like, they were digging for that pond, that culvert went in sort of,
Our culvert was above his pond, remember?
exactly,
He dug, that's what I'm saying.
how he dug below.
And if, when we were standing there that day,
Mm-hmm,
looking at McFeeters,
mm-hmm.
his
Yes.
pond was in our right of way.
Oh, okay, well, that,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, that came in, cause we talked about
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
was, oh my
yeah.
God, look at what he's doing. I mean, this
Yeah.
is gonna get so close to our road, is this gonna
right,
affect
okay.
either
Well, yeah,
McFeeters
yeah,
or your road?
yes, yes,
And I mean, I don't know this answer either, but
right.
I would really like to,
It's not far-fetched that it may have
may have had an impact.
changed the way that water pressure's going now.
It's all possible.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
particularly since it's, the characteristic of the road has changed. Kind of supports that theory, so we'll see.
Deneen Anderson really isn't, I mean, it's kind of the same scenario, I mean, it's changed this year from the last couple of years because there's that new camp. That guy's in and out of there a couple times a day now, the one before you get down to Beans on the right. I always see those in and out of their camp. My new morning ritual to de-stress before I go to work is I make an extra coffee before I leave work, I drive to camp, and I go sit in front of the pond and for an extra 10 minutes before I go to work. So I mean,
Right,
just between our two camp roads, between me and this other gentleman, we've almost 50% increased the traffic on that road.
right,
So
right,
even a contractor making 3 or 4 trips a day, I don't really think that should be
right.
that much of a impact.
Well, and then that one neighbor that built the pond now has a sawmill on, beyond the pond. And, has a big truck in there, in and out. So, that's,
There again, Poster Road.
yeah, I haven't seen it loaded, but he has, he's doing work on it. I don't know how much an unloaded pulp truck weighs. Is that
I don't know
under
if he's
the?
hauled any wood in or not, he had a pretty big pile of wood there last fall.
But does the
Yeah.
Poston Road go off on registered weight or physical weight? That's the $1 million question. I mean, the laws on trailers goes off on registered weight.
I think it's registered, but I would not
It
switch
used
to
to be
that.
posted as registered weight.
Right,
Yeah.
so it doesn't matter if he's loaded or not, he's not supposed to be taking that truck in there.
Oh,
That's where I was,
I see. Yep.
we're back to the conversations like with our trailers.
Yeah.
We hauled it empty, it doesn't matter.
That's
I
not how
see.
the rules work. The rules say registered.
He drove this truck home from work and,
Correct.
yeah, all those questions.
Yeah.
But while we're on this conversation, and I don't know how this happened, but I did, well, we could, I'm kinda jumping ahead, I probably have no other concerns, but, McFeeters. I wasn't a part of when it happened, I don't know how it happened, but McFeeters Road actually has a road posting waiting sign on it.
Mm-hmm.
50,000.
Do you know the reason for that?
No, that's kinda why, I'd like to see another road done that way, so that's
Oh,
why I'm
oh,
wondering.
oh. I think, and this is just what I think, I don't know this as fact, is that that's a cut through, that road. So that you don't go through Guilford, and or Pleasant Avenue. People, when, once in a while, people will take the dump road, that's the name,
Right, but I
McFeeters.
mean, they did
to cut
that to
over
save
to-
the integrity of the road.
Exactly, because it's a cut through, I mean, it's a shortcut.
No different than Silver's Mills.
True.
Well, the DOT actually called me and asked about McFeeters and Pleasant/Hudson Avenue, and putting up some signs encouraging truck traffic to go out to 15, and then asking if I might work with Guilford to see if we could get some signage to allow the state to put signage that said no through truck traffic there.
That would be to our benefit.
That's right.
Yeah, so I reached out to Guilford, but she and I are playing phone tag.
So maybe you could,
So maybe-
maybe
Well, that's
you
why I'm
can
kinda-
jump
I mean-
on that list.
I know you was across not that long ago, but, and Warren's sitting here so you can attest, but Silver's Mills is definitely failing
It's
fast.
showing its age.
That first mile. So, and we do see a lot of heavy through traffic.
Cutting from 7 to over to 23.
Yes. And that's why I was wondering, is that something that we ought to think about? I'm not saying it's the answer, or maybe, I don't know the process or anything, but would that be something that would benefit that road, knowing what it's made of?
Probably.
As
Yeah,
far
I would
as
say.
limiting
So
through
see if we
traffic
can
or
put it on the
limiting.
list.
French's Mills doing the same thing now.
That's-
I can't believe the number of big trucks going through
Crazy.
there now. I don't know where they're
I
headed.
don't know why.
It's because you fix up the road and they're like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, but 23 is good. I mean, there's no
23
reason
is
to,
great.
there's no reason to beat your up over that.
It
hill.
is.
I don't know.
But it's a shortcut,
it's
as you
something-
said, I mean,
Yeah, I know.
the other thing is from getting, getting from point A to point B as a crow flies. Boy,
Yeah.
Silver's Mills does it pretty well, if, getting,
If all
so.
you're thinking about, well, no, it's getting to the point, it's not saving your, not even a second. 'Cause you definitely,
You're on the brakes.
it's
Well,
turning,
yeah,
it's turning into a 35 pretty fast.
Ooh.
It is, seriously. I mean,
So we should ask,
I don't know what you guys feel, or
I
I've
think it's a
never.
great idea, it saves our roads.
But if we do Silver's Mills, we need to do French's Mills too, because all you're gonna wind up doing is,
True.
well, I don't know, because if you do both ends of Silver's Mills,
Yeah.
If
technically
you do
they
Silver's
couldn't,
Mills,
they
you can't get
couldn't,
through to Phil, you can't go
technically they
to.
couldn't get through.
Yeah, where would they be going?
Well, they'd be going to
Right.
French's Mills to Silver's Mills.
Yeah, but what if
It's
so
like
you come
posting.
into Newtville, you gotta have another sign there?
Yeah, you might.
You don't
Because,
need it,
And then
you
they
can't
have
get
to
there.
turn around and
No,
go
if you
back
come
out on
in from
French's.
23, if you come in from my end,
You're right,
We'll
right.
make them back to you.
well, for
which
instance,
all the way up to 23. is
for
what I'm
instance, we have to post Thomas Road, but Parkman has posted their end of McFeeters,
Oh, I
and we
know.
posted our end of McFeeters.
Yep.
And so, nobody could get there without
Right,
poof, but you still need to post it, so we might have to sign in all of those places.
It wouldn't hurt either one of them. I mean,
and when we post those, Bridie, who enforces that?
Police, sheriff? No?
Where does that leave us hauling manure and stuff?
I think farming is exclusive for a lot of
Yeah,
that
I
stuff.
think and if you live on that road.
It's different.
It's different,
It's more for through
Do what you gotta
traffic,
do.
it's, yeah,
yeah.
This is just cut through traffic.
yes, I'm not trying to.
Although,
No, I'm sitting in the middle of it.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
know
no,
that.
no, no.
And that's part of the conversation, how is this
Although-
done, so it is done right.
yeah.
I know a certain in-town contractor has complained about McFeeters being
Oh, I've heard it from one particular contractor
Yes.
many times, but you know what, it doesn't change it.
Right, right. But I know that, Toby once in a while has problems, cause he has to get out in the spring
Right.
from his farm. I think we have to give him a variance or something, or he
That's
asks
what
us,
they
and
do
he
in
has
the
to leave.
past.
And actually, the posted was only, as long as, you can go in the morning when the road's still frozen, right?
Has to be below 32 degrees.
Right, right, right.
As long as the road's froze, there's not water coming up the cracks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But, as you said, you can't do business if you're having to look out and see if it's,
Right.
right. But I know that Toby has had issues before getting out with a tractor trailer. Okay, anyway.
Sand pile,
We covered that.
we've covered that.
Well,
We need-
kinda, I do only, did you get a chance to send that question out I had on the same boat?
Which question?
If we relocated on the same piece of property?
I did not do that.
Okay.
I'm
I would like to still know the answer for
sorry.
that.
Okay.
Is there room to put it elsewhere?
Sure there is.
We could build enough
We
room.
can build anything.
What's that?
Route 15 grinding.
Um,
Yeah, what's going on there?
Jody called me because she knew the Route 15
Oh,
was
yeah.
being grinded, I'm not sure.
Ground.
Ground.
You received some?
Yeah, so I called Brian to talk to him, he's hauling it to his, compound, he said that he would be, selling it.
I bet he will.
Mm-hmm.
We talked a little bit about, what it might be good for, things like parking lots. But we also talked about our project out on East Sangerville and whether it would be good for that. It really wouldn't, but he said he'd look at that and see if he had some ideas on what.
I read an interesting article that it works very well on about any dirt road surface.
Dirt road.
You can lay it in and roll it, it will not bind, it's not gonna
Well,
act
that's-
like a concrete, but it's gonna have the
You
same
can reshape
effects.
it, you can re-roll it,
It's gonna act the same as any fine, like a gravel's gonna.
it's
My
like,
father used it on his
it's like you've
driveway.
always got
It worked
calcium
pretty darn
chloride
well.
on it binding it.
Yep,
It will stick together, a certain bit.
yeah, but you gotta roll it.
Yeah, you put it down, you grade it, and you roll it.
Yeah.
We did some camp roads, helped Matt McCusick do a camp road down in Dexter, and a bunch of driveways and parking lots.
How
Yeah.
many inches you putting down? How much depth are you putting down?
Well, we put in like, I must say about 6 inches.
That's what I was reading on.
Yeah.
It's not gonna fix a well,
And
No.
it
it's just a
lasted,
surface.
I mean, the last time I went down that camp road that I helped haul on, it was amazingly well. We did some driveways while we were doing it. They said, hey, do my driveway. So drew the driveway, kept working our way out.
Does it hold together in the wintertime like gravel does?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's froze up like hot dog.
Okay.
Yeah,
It
it's
holds
not-
enough
it's not all
moisture so it
mealy-
locks
It's not
up.
all mealy like loose sand,
Right.
so to
No, it's-
speak.
Once you
The
roll that
heat,
in.
the heat actually binds it and sticks it, but you can bust it back up, regrade it, roll it, until you get too much dirt incorporated in it, and then it's gonna stay apart.
And how much is the stuff?
He didn't give me a
Okay.
price.
But it has
Pretty good
worked
stuff.
really good.
That's good stuff.
I'd like to see it right out here.
Well, so
I would
we
just
may
see if we
wanna,
can move.
Well, no.
Yeah, we will put that stuff in our new parking lot.
That's what I would love to do.
But you could use it at the town garage.
I would rather
put it on Thomas
fix the
Road.
wet road in.
Yeah,
Or
like-
East
Yeah,
Sangerville, or
yeah.
Anderson,
Yeah, yeah.
or West Road, or any of
Planters
these
Hill or
other.
whatever.
So
yeah.
any of these roads that have wet spots, we can't really.
You gotta fix your wet spot, and you
and
could
then
put this over the
put-
top. But it's not gonna fix a wet spot.
You've got a base under it. This won't fix the bottom of the road.
Mhm.
This is just. to
It's a
keep it
finish, it's
sealed.
more of a finish. You know,
You
more,
gravel your road, you shape it, and do all your stuff for the drainage.
I was
and put that
actually-
on top,
Oh.
that's the good frosting.
I
Nice.
was reading when it wasn't so much like it wasn't a rototiller, but it was damn near, it weren't a reclaimer either, but they were actually tailgating this in and then mixing it in with the road base and basically using it as an aggregate to work with the gravel that was there. And they kept doing that and layering it in 2 to 4 inches at a time and mixing it in with the surface and keep doing that and then putting a decent coat on the top and rolling it. So I mean, they were using it as basically trying to create a base with it, with what was there. So,
Yeah, Brian mentioned something called milling, and I still haven't quite figured out what that is. Maybe it's something similar to what you're,
I think the difference between milling is when they don't grind full. It's still
No, they're just taking
grinding.
it down,
Alright.
still leaving
Taking
on
everything.
top,
So it's
shaving it off.
like a
Yep.
finer aggregate really than when
Yep.
they do the full deal.
so,
The way I understood it.
And this is, they're talking millings here, right?
Yeah, I don't know, is that what he said? That they're gonna mill it?
It says grinding, but
I,
I'm not
I
sure.
asked him about grinding, he didn't call it milling, but
Oh,
he talked about milling afterwards, so,
oh.
so maybe it was a terminology
But I'm
problem
sure, I
on my
mean-
part.
It's a decent material as far as for him to stockpile it and be able to resell it, I can see where he
but
would.
if they're taking it off and putting it in the pile, I would call it millings.
Yeah.
Okay, we done with that?
Was he gonna get you a price, Brady?
He said that he would give me a price and that he was also willing to look at, roads I have an issue with and giving me an opinion if I needed help with, Thomas Road or, you know, whatever road was stumping us and he said he'd give me an opinion on East Sangerville, so I'll reach out to him again and see.
Good. Very good.
Anything further on roads?
I think we're good.
Correspondence? Item 10, request for additional agenda items. Selectmen's concerns?
No.
It's not really a concern, just kind of a quick update. We talked about dams last meeting. It was kind of interesting, so then I sent Brady a text and kind of asked about one. And it's kind of interesting. On Facebook, Center Pond, there's a Friends of, it's a group for all the camp owners and post pictures and questions and answers. And it was like 2 days after I asked Brady about that dam, somebody actually asked the question in the group, well, what about the dam? And it was, somebody finally jumped right in and clearly, oh, that's privately owned. And the owners of they've, cut the length that they would love to have people help or get involved in or whatever to do the repair. So there is, I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but, I don't dare to drive to it yet. As soon as it hardens up a little bit more, me and a couple of the other guys are gonna try to get in there and actually see what's there and what needs to be done or whatever, so.
Is it a wooden dam?
My understanding right now is there's a little bit of concrete, a whole lot of rock and a bunch of wood.
Huh.
So,
Interesting.
when I can get to it, I will definitely take some pictures. I wanna try to get there, cause right now the pond's very high, so I would love to get in there as soon as I can, so we can kinda see what it
See.
is and how it's acting.
Which road goes?
There is no road.
I think I can get there from the road across Center Pond Road.
Okay.
I think I can get there.
Shortest way is going by off Brockway's Mills, isn't it?
Yeah, it looked that way from Google Earth, that very first left.
Because it streams right there.
Yeah,
Right, but there's actually a
The
bike.
last time I looked at it.
When
it
you
was
drive into
looking pretty
Senator
sad.
Mills, there's a trail that takes you right to it, so I don't know about the other, I've never been. But we're gonna try either way,
Yeah.
so,
When I last looked at them, it looked pretty sad.
yeah, so.
how long ago was that?
Oh, 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
And does that dam make Center Pond?
Yes.
So without that dam, there is no pond?
Puddle.
A stream.
So that's in
A
your
brook.
best interest.
Well, it's not in, yes, it's in my best interest, but it's in our best interest.
Sure, sure,
This
sure.
dam is no different to me as far as than the
Yeah.
Mannahannock dam.
Yes.
If that dam goes out, in the same as Center Pond, we lose a lot of tax value, so.
Right.
I'm very happy that from my understanding, reading the conversation, and I've talked to a couple of the guys since, privately away from that conversation, the previous owner wanted nothing to do with anybody to work on.
There we go.
Didn't even want anybody to see it.
Don't even look at it.
So this new
Really?
camp owner, they are all about, let's see what we can do, and we need to get this fixed, and there seems to be a lot of people around the pond that wanna help with that.
Great.
So, it sounds like it's a
It
very
can
good
be
thing.
pretty there's Weymouth, Maine, you ever get over Washington County that way? Same deal, privately owned, it failed, and he wouldn't let anybody on the property to fix it. And you drive by what was a lake and the beach is hundreds of yards now, I mean,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
there's of course, the
Wow.
town's furious,
Right,
and
sure.
the deeds are all messed up, and what, it's
Well, that's what I was.
Right, where do you
high water
go
mark,
to?
low water
Yeah,
mark.
right.
Yeah, because that's how it's verbiage. How do you, it's your deeds, my deeds verbiage stuff, high water mark.
Oh.
And they were
So-
talking about eminent
a
domain
dam,
to
where do
try
I
to
go?
get in there, and
You could gain property if the dam went.
No. because
No,
I'm
the
on
high water, cause that's his
Nobody
deed
would-
only is to the high water.
Nobody would own that.
Oh, to the.
So- Yeah,
you could have somebody on the other side of the pond, and you're fighting over who's the front.
Yeah, because now what do? Do I go out there 200 feet to get to the waterfront so that, and then I come in 100 feet? You know, and so does everybody. I mean, how would you do that?
Right.
jeez,
Okay,
It's definitely clunky.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll keep everybody posted
Great.
as I know anything, and I'm sure once we get going, as a property owner, I'm gonna have questions, so, probably more in conversation with her to try to help.
I'm
make
glad
this work.
HUD doesn't own that property.
Oh, my, can you
I'm
imagine?
glad I don't own that property. I would
Yeah, you,
love to help with this conversation, but I'm glad it's not me, I guess.
financially, you're, is Friends of Center Pond involved in,
All we are is, there's no association, there's no,
with money?
there's nobody that's,
So the property owner is going to foot the bill?
no, there's actually numerous camp owners that are speaking up, saying that we are more than willing to help.
Okay.
I don't
See,
know what that
Piper
means
Pond
at
has a
this-
dam too, but they
Yes.
have an association.
Yep.
Which
It's
one?
pretty primitive, Piper.
Oh,
And it's not, I don't think they're holding back as much water as Center Pond sounds like it is,
Well,
but
I wanna get in there, I mean,
Piper's quite a bit deeper than.
I'm really surprised, I mean, how tall do you think that dam is? Is it 5 feet?
It's not real tall, it's not real tall.
So I mean, it's not gonna have a big impact if you took it out.
Well, 5 feet is,
Distance out into the pond it would be.
But I mean, do you think, is it 2 feet, 4 feet? I really haven't seen it
It's been
work.
quite a while. You get in and look at
Okay.
it. But I remember looking at it, she was sad shape, and back when Gene Johnson was still alive, he was part of the association.
The deed doesn't
They
really,
couldn't get any, that guy would not move an inch
Yeah.
on,
Wow.
sure, and it's really quite amazing, it's still there.
I read the deed, it really doesn't, it doesn't talk about the dam, which I thought was odd.
Who owns that property now, so I can,
Would be.
I will go look.
But it doesn't really, it talks about an old grist mill,
oh.
and it talks about that itself, but it doesn't clearly specify the dam as in any way. Which I just thought was odd.
well, if the dam is totally within someone's property, within their deed, why would that be referenced? I mean, if you
Yeah,
had
it's
a well,
privately
would it
owned.
reference your well?
I don't know, I just think
It's
odd.
just a part of your,
So I know like I know
Property.
there's another dam in town that's half privately owned. And within his deed, it clearly
All of it.
states it, and clearly states that it needs repair, and clearly
It has to be
responsible-
maintained.
maintained and responsible for the water level and everything.
to who though?
Him.
Yeah, but who's he responsible? In other words, who would collect, who would enforce?
State, probably.
Okay.
I don't know.
Or the
I don't know that
municipality,
piece.
we don't know that piece, okay.
Right. But I'm just, I mean, it's, yeah,
Okay.
but that would be my question, if I owned a piece of property with a dam and you did let it go, and, you know,
You
this,
have some liability down.
right, I mean, to everybody else in that area, if it's actually.
Are impacted.
Correct.
Well, for instance, there was a guy in Parkman who had a farm pond and lost his dam, and it flowed down through
Oh.
Guilford and caused some problems with the kind of fish he had stocked in his pond and damaged other people's property.
Wow.
And
Wow,
depending on how much water you're holding back.
wow. Huh,
I remember when that come across to Guilford.
Yeah.
it just came
Who
down the
was
hill
Tyler?
and from Parkman and,
Yeah, come by right
Flooded
by Tommy Gurley's house, right by the old senior system. Come right down through there.
The woods and trees come right with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
oh yeah,
She took
I mean, you take a wall of water,
No, it's like
it's coming,
it's a tsunami.
so.
Okay,
okay.
executive session?
No.
None? Motion to adjourn?
Second,
All in favor? It's 5 minutes to 7 and we are adjourned.
and Brody, the